Once upon a time, in a peaceful village embraced by the verdant arms of nature, two men found themselves embarking on a journey deep into the heart of a dense forest. One was a monk, draped in robes of simplicity, embodying a life of meditative stillness and deep compassion. The other was a hunter, characterized by his rugged attire and tan skin, forged by days spent pursuing the wild beasts that roamed the forest. Though both men set foot upon the same path, their motivations and mindsets were starkly different. For the monk sought enlightenment and liberation from worldly attachments, while the hunter yearned for survival and the thrill of the chase. As they traversed through the whispering leaves and the rustling underbrush, the sun began to descend, casting a warm golden hue over the landscape. They trudged along, the steady rhythm of their footsteps a harmony of purpose. Eventually, they arrived at the banks of a wide and rushing river, a shimmering barrier that separated them from the other side. The roar of the water was both mighty and inviting, yet it was also perilous and daunting. As the hunter surveyed the situation, he revealed a small wooden boat tied at the edge of the shore. "Look, brother," he exclaimed, "we can cross this river easily. Let us carry on our journey." The monk, however, looked longingly at the swirling waters but shook his head. "I cannot cross," he said, his voice calm yet resolute. "I have taken a vow not to step over this river, for it symbolizes the boundaries of desire and attachment. I choose to remain here, rooted in contemplation." The hunter raised an eyebrow, clearly puzzled. "But my friend, the river is only water. It separates us from the challenges that await on the other side. If we do not cross now, will we not fall prey to complacency? Does your vow not hinder your progress?" After considering the hunter's words, the monk replied, "Freedom comes from within, my friend. It is in the heart and mind, not merely determined by the actions we take. Sometimes it is essential to confront ourselves before confronting the world at large." Intrigued yet skeptical, the hunter mounted the small boat and, as the wood gently rocked beneath him, he said with a grin, "Well then, I shall cross alone. Join me when you find your time suitable." And with that, he began to row across the river, oblivious to the monk's meditation on the shore. As moments turned into minutes, the hunter reached the opposite bank and stepped onto solid ground. He looked back, waving a hand at the monk. "See how easily this was done. You could be here, exploring and hunting, instead of sitting there lost in thought." The monk remained silent, his gaze fixed on the flowing river. He took a deep breath, focusing on the sounds around him. The presence of the soft wind, the gentle rustle of trees, and the harmonious chorus of chirping birds. All elements of nature melded into one another, forming a symphony that beckoned understanding and acceptance. Days went by as the monk patiently waited. He observed the myriad of life around him, watching as the seasons changed, leaving an indelible mark on the forest's landscape. The hunter, meanwhile, thrived on the other side, drawing success from each day and boasting tales of his exhilarating encounters with wild animals. Yet as time flowed like the river itself, something began to shift. With every triumphant hunt, the hunter felt a gnawing emptiness, a void that no amount of trophies could fill. One evening, the river glimmered under the glow of the setting sun, and the hunter sat on the riverbank, staring into the depths of the water. He felt a sudden peace wash over him, reminiscent of the serenity he once saw on the monk's face. It clashed with the tumultuous feelings he had been burdened with, happiness turning to loneliness, triumph turning to sorrow. The void continued to expand, making the hunter realize that something deeper was absent from his life. Finally, he made a decision. Returning to the monk, he called out, "Brother, I have crossed many rivers, hunted many beasts, but I have yet to find peace. Please, teach me your ways. Show me the path that leads to the wisdom you possess." The monk opened his eyes, his face soft with a compassionate smile. "Dear hunter, you have already taken the first step towards enlightenment. Your recognition of the emptiness within is the beginning of awakening." The hunter took a seat beside the monk, eager to absorb his wisdom. "But how do I fill this void? How do I attain the peace I've witnessed in you?" The monk looked out at the gentle current of the river. "Much like the water before us, life flows continuously. It is not about filling the emptiness, but rather understanding it. The struggles of life, the desires we chase, and the accomplishments we gather all create a flowing river of experiences. Embrace them, do not resist. Relinquish the need to possess. Let go of what you cannot control. In the days that followed, the two companions sat together by the river. The monk shared stories of wisdom, teaching the hunter to meditate and to observe the world without attachment. The hunter learned to breathe with awareness, to listen deeply without judgment, and to see the interconnectedness of all life. One morning, when the mist lifted from the river's surface, revealing the bright reflection of the sun, the hunter had a realization. "You were right, dear monk. I spent my days hunting, believing the chase would bring meaning, but it was a mirage. I now see we can find fulfillment not in what we pursue, but in nurturing the love we have for ourselves and others." And so, each day, they practiced together, the hunter slowly learning that his worth wasn't bound by his catches. He began to find joy in planting seeds, in tending to the land, and in nourishing the very essence of life itself. The monk, in turn, grew more vibrant, learning the thrill of compassion through the hunter's experiences. As they learned and evolved, they drew closer and drew other villagers who were curious about their bond. The duality of their experiences knitting a tapestry of understanding. Others joined them on this journey of discovery. Many embraced the art of mindfulness, connecting with nature and, more importantly, with themselves. Seasons changed, yet the river remained, a constant reminder of the inevitable flow of life. Both the hunter and the monk ultimately understood that the greatest enlightenment comes not solely from our actions, but from a heart that knows how to love, learn, and let go. As their friendship blossomed under the warm sun, they became beacons of hope and wisdom, illustrating that true fulfillment is found through connection, compassion, and understanding of the self. In closing, we are reminded that our journeys, though unique, have common threads that weave us together. The river in this story illustrates how life flows in cycles, telling us to embrace change without clinging too tightly to transient experiences. Whether in moments of struggle or during joyous occasions, seek understanding, for it is through understanding that we find wisdom. As we embark on our own paths, let us cherish the teachings of mindfulness, compassion, and self-awareness, knowing that the essence of life, the heart of our pursuit, is not found in the chase, but rather in the connections we foster along the way.